everybody, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Scott. Welcome to the Almost Friday show for Thursday, March 4th, 2010.
And off the press this week, we talk about the 11th Doctor.
Who? Dave reviews Ignition City from the gutters.
In Tech Insight, we talk about Windows 7 phone. Really? We're bringing that up again?
Again.
Oh. More importantly, we bring you some awesome news in the Mac gaming world.
From behind the lens, we're looking at a Nikon.
Not a Canon this time.
Not a Canon this time. S8000. And we bring you a tip of the week for those folks who want to shoot some HD video with their DSLR.
And in the lull of the week, we sympathize with this guy and why he hates PowerPoint presentations.
Without further ado, it's off the press.
Up yours, Danny Elfman. Emily Howell might just be the next name in instrumental music. And you know what the cool thing is?
What's the cool thing?
She's not a real person.
That's kind of weird. How is she not a real person?
Well, Professor Cope has come up with... This is actually a Rev 2 of a computerized composer. But the cool thing is, it's not completely computerized. Like, it's not just software writing music.
Okay.
It runs off of, what's really cool, this is from the Gizmodo article. I'm just going to quote it directly. It's, it converses with Cope through the keyboard and mouse. He asks a musical question, feeding in some compositions or musical phrase. The program responds with its own musical statement. He says yes or no, and I'll send it more information and look at the output.
So it's computationally figuring out how to play music based on what Cope is telling it to do.
Exactly.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, what's really cool, I said this was a Rev 2 of it. The first one, it was named Emmy. Sorry, like the award, I guess.
Okay.
And that, it was scrapped a couple of years ago because of controversy in the music business. Okay. Because, you know, it's a computer, it can't write music.
They'll always, you know, robotic uprising. They don't want any part of it.
It is the robot uprising. It's like the robo-thespian.
They can write music. They can kill your children. They
will.
Think about it.
So this thing has also been signed by a major pop band.
Okay.
It's undisclosed right now, but you know.
So there's a band that's basically using it to build like backtracks for it then?
Or maybe just like all their instrumental music.
Cool.
There's not a lot of information about this. Apparently, it played some concerts in February, got a lot of mixed responses. One really cool from the article, it says a professor of chemistry and music went to see the concert, not knowing that Emily was a computer. And then he said afterwards, like, oh man, this was awesome, this was great, the most moving music I've ever heard. And a couple months later, he heard it again, except with Cope in the room saying, this is my new invention or whatever. And then he's like, well, I can obviously tell that was made by a computer.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it goes back to the old argument, like when...
if you don't know, you're not listening to the real thing, you think it's the real thing.
Exactly, like when the wax cylinder was invented, they had an opera singer behind a curtain and the wax cylinder behind the curtain, and like half the people couldn't tell the difference between the cylinder and the opera singer, so... So
bottom line, should composers be worried?
Realistically, no. It's just... This is what I think. It's just another composer, you know, like how John Williams and Danny Elfman, they're two separate composers, right? They have their own style, they do their own thing, they both get jobs. So, you know, if Emily is competing with...
Some people are going to like it, some people won't.
Exactly, like some people love Wagner, some people hate the stuff, some people like Mozart, you know.
Well, you know what some people, well, a little bit of some people tend to like a lot?
Doctor Who?
Yeah, there's a little bit of people that like it a lot.
There's a lot of people who like it a lot.
Oh, fine. It's not Top Gear.
Okay, I'll give you that one. So the new season of Doctor Who, Season 5, or Season 1 if you're into the whole, this is a reboot of Doctor Who thing, is supposed to be coming out in BBC America on April the 17th. That's 2 weeks after it premieres in the UK.
So it's not going to be as delayed as a lot of the other shows?
Exactly. It's not going to be that month and a half delay, but, you know.
That's pretty awesome.
Legally premiering in the States.
Cool. Of course, if you torrent it, I'm sure you'll be able to get it the night of.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm totally getting it the night of.
You know, you don't feel so bad because it's not like you could watch it really here anyways.
No,
so
like
there's justification of that torrenting in some way or another.
There's no word on when Space is supposed to be airing it in Canada.
Okay.
I'm just going to throw it out there probably maybe a month after it premieres in the UK. That's about how it went for Torchwood. The third season of Torchwood, I think Space ran it 2 to 3 weeks after it premiered in the UK. So
all right.
That's not too bad. It's getting better. Now it's
Well, speaking of delays, last week we were supposed to talk to you about the Apple Step, which is a story about a man who got one of the glass steps from the New York Apple Store, took it home, hung on to it for a little while, and tried to sell it. Now, last week we were under the presumption that it was stolen and that it was on eBay, things like that. We were supposed to talk about it, but we just forgot. However, it seems like the story's changed a little bit. There's more to it this time, so when we actually tell you about this story, we can give you a little bit more details. So.
So the guy, his name is Mark. He wrote to Gizmodo after his eBay posting was posted there, and basically explained the whole story. It turns out that a couple of days after his story ran or his auction went up, Apple tried to sue him, saying that it was stolen and to return it to Apple immediately. Where Mark says he didn't steal it. He was working for Apple at the time, but when he actually got the step, he was out of uniform. It was like he wasn't on the clock.
Okay.
So he was just another guy walking up to a contractor or like some other guy on the street, like, hey, you're going to throw that out. I don't know.
Now, I don't believe it's actually Apple that was threatening legal action. It was Steel, which was the contract company that was working on redoing the step and basically maintaining it.
Yeah, and then I think they said they were going to escalate it to Apple, or Apple.
Yeah, but so far Apple hasn't gotten involved.
That we know of.
Yeah,
they could have told Steel first, but
definitely.
whatever.
So the story goes that he walked up to 4 of the construction workers that were working for Steel and wanted to basically ask them for the step since he figured they were throwing it out anyways.
Yeah.
They said, sure, why not? Helped him move it into his truck. And so he believes that as far as legalities are concerned, because they not only gave it to him and helped him take it home, he wasn't really stealing it. It was really offered to him because this company would have got rid of it anyways. The flip side is that Steel says that they hold the rights to that property, which in reasonable cases that does apply for sure. But he's arguing that since they helped him keep it, essentially, he figures it's fair game. Now, Steele's talked to him multiple times on the phone and is sort of semi-threatening legal action, but it's probably because Apple's saying, hey, you got to get the step back.
Yeah.
Regardless, he took down the eBay page and ran this story and decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to put it up again.
Yeah, put it up again at a lower price.
He was shortening the time frame, took away the buy it now, and started at $200 and basically wants to get rid of it. Now, if it does come down that it is stolen property and someone does actually buy it, it means that they're purchasing stolen property, which means they can't keep it and they don't get their money back, and it's all bad news. So I'm not sure if he sold it yet.
The auction has ended just a couple of days ago, because when it was first posted up, I think it was on 4 days ago, maybe. It was only posted for 3 days, and I didn't get a chance to look at the posting earlier, so I didn't see.
I have my suspicions it didn't sell.
No, but you know what's more exciting than all this legal junk?
What's more exciting than legal junk? I love legal junk. Legal junk, yes.
It's pretty boring. Tron.
Tron is a lot more
drop
exciting.
It like that. Tron Legacy, the new movie.
Which has Jeff Bridges in it, which is awesome because Jeff Bridges was in the original Tron as Flynn. So it's great that he's coming back for Tron 2.0, but it's not really what it's being called. That was the pre-release name.
The working title, if you will.
So it is Tron Legacy now. And it's got Sam Worthington in it, big to fame recently with Avatar, also coming up in the new Clash of the Titans movie. This guy was also in Terminator Salvation, so he's all over the place these days.
Wow, he's really one of those nerd actors who acts in a lot of the...
yeah, definitely. It also stars, I forget her name, but she's one of the female doctors from House, the younger one that was one of his sort of interns at first. She's going to be his love interest in the movie. Daft Punk is doing the soundtrack, so
Which is awesome.
Awesome.
That's almost as awesome as Wendy/Walter Carlos doing the original soundtrack.
So if you were a fan of Tron 1, the countdown is on, and we're supposed to see it December 17th in theaters.
Yep, they've put up a lot of new pictures and I think a longer teaser on the website, but I think it's basically the stuff they were touring around at all the nerd shows and conventions over the summer. Because I think I've seen those pictures before, just maybe not on the internet, because when we went to Fan Expo in the summer, we went to the Tron panel where they showed us some clips and some exclusive pictures and stuff, but I don't know.
Anyway, set the date on your calendar, and you'll know we'll be lining up for that movie for sure.
Hell yeah.
So with some more movie news, both Scott and I have seen Shutter Island, and we're going to give you our review. So I'm going to say goodbye to Sam, and I'm going to say hello to Scott.
Hello, Shutter Island.
Scott.
It surprised me.
It did. Now, I mean, the thing is, the trailer sort of led it to be one thing. There was depending on which trailer you saw, it sort of implied different things. But I went into that movie not knowing completely where the plot was going, which I think really helped. The less you know about the movie going forward, the more you're going to enjoy it.
What I was saying to Sam earlier and Dave was that the trailer did not pull me in. That's not why I saw that movie. When I saw the trailer, I was kind of like, okay, Leo's been doing some good stuff lately.
Pretty much everything he's been in recently has been a very good movie.
Been excellent,
I can't actually think of anything that's been bad in the last 2 years that he's done.
So I was like, that's a plus. It's one of those mess with your mind movies. I haven't seen one of those in a while.
It's also a Scorsese film.
Right? So I was kind of like, yeah, it might be good. I went on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Even sitting in the theater, I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't really care. I don't want to see it. But then I got hooked, line, and sinkered right into the plot. Surprised that doesn't happen very often.
The three main actors are Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Ruffalo, and Sir Ben Kingsley are in it. That's his name, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm fairly certain.
I'm not good with actor names, people.
No, if I got that wrong, I'm sorry, but I'm fairly certain it's Sir Ben Kingsley.
He's the guy who's playing the doctor?
He is the guy playing the doctor. So the storyline goes something along the lines of two undercover agents that are, well, not undercover, sorry, two marshals, U.S. Marshals, that are investigating the disappearance of an inmate at a mental facility for...
Like a high security kind of mental
for the criminally insane.
Yeah.
We don't really want to tell you more than that because honestly it would give things away and it's really worth experiencing. But let me just go out by saying the acting in it was phenomenal. Once again, standout performance by Leonardo DiCaprio. Sir Ben Kingsley and Mark Ruffalo also had great roles as well. So as an ensemble cast of people, it was really good.
I enjoyed especially Ben Kingsley, if that's the person who played that character.
We're going to go with that.
Yeah, if we're wrong, well, we'll deal with it. His performance was really great because the whole time, okay, I don't want to ruin anyone, give me spoilers, but very consistent. And
you think he's working against you, and then it sort of flips the tables near the end. So you kind of build up the character where you as the audience want to hate him and then realize later that maybe you don't. So he does a really good job of playing both sides of that coin.
You flip that side a few times.
Yeah. It was really well shot. I mean, great lighting. The location was really eerie. There's definitely some scenes where you might think something's pretty crazy or scary is going to happen. Ultimately, there's nothing really frightening about the movie at all. It's really just a very dark drama, I want to say. There's some very not graphic but dark scenes in it. But I think they really played well to building the entire ambiance of the movie.
They weren't unnecessary like sometimes they are.
Yeah. There's flashbacks to his wife, and it sort of starts to build up the state that Leonardo DiCaprio ends up being in. So these scenes, although are really dark, really help sort of set the movie in its tone and its direction and everything like that. So I mean, if you're, it's definitely a thinking film. It's definitely, a wordy film. There's it's a lot of dialogue. There's not a whole lot of action.
It's something you got to pay attention to the whole. It's something you'd want to go back. I want to go back and watch it again and see the.
I do, yeah. I feel like if I go back again, knowing how it's ending, I'll be like, oh, and and that led to that, and that led to that.
It was really well planned out, like the way they filmed everything, building up to the big conclusion without telling you what it is, which is kind of hard. But they really thought it out. Like it was spot on. There wasn't pieces missing. You wouldn't go back and think, oh, they didn't. Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah. So very little plot holes, no loose ends, that kind of stuff. And really, you don't really know how the movie's going to end until literally the last minute and a half. And even still, at the ending, it can kind of. It's up to you to sort of decide.
It's up to a little bit of interpretation.
Yeah.
But the thing I liked is it wasn't up to enough interpretation so much as to drive you crazy and be like, why did I even watch that movie, like some other films?
Yeah.
But there was enough to keep you thinking about it after you left the theater.
To have you sort of, as an audience, make the decision.
Yeah.
Not, be like, oh, I really don't know which way to think, but be like, oh, based on what I'm seeing, I'm going to go with this was the conclusion. And so it's really good. I would give it a 5 out of 5. One of the best movies I've seen this year for sure.
The only thing I'd like, not from my point of view, I was hooked into the plot. I never knew. Like, I had inklings on multiple different endings, but I was never sure, and I just really wanted to know what was going to happen. I've talked to other people who've said, I knew it was going to happen the whole time, and I was kind of like, well, okay, maybe that's going to be you. So not necessarily for everyone, but I thought it was
I think there's some predictability to the plot, but some of the stuff that happens at the very end still sort of leaves it open.
Like, it's
I
not a
think.
completely unique, you've never seen this kind of thing before plot.
No, for sure.
There's other movies that I won't tell you about that follow along a similar kind of trail, similar idea. Not the same. There aren't that many parallels, but the same basic structure of the film.
Regardless, I think we can both agree, go out and see it in the theaters
Definitely.
if you can. It is worth the
It's a
extra
theater
money.
experience.
It is, yeah.
It's not like the big action movie theater experience you're thinking of, but it's definitely worth seeing. In the big
But,
screen.
big screen, dark room,
it
good
envelops you
speakers.
it envelops you in the environment a
Absolutely,
lot more,
yeah.
which does help in certain scenes for sure.
So that wraps up Off the Press this week. We'll bring in you Dave with From the Gutters.
Welcome to From the Gutters. This is Dave, and
Sam?
we are going to be talking today about Ignition City. It is written by Warren Ellis and illustrated by Gianluca Pagliarani, and it is published by Avatar. It's a good book. It's a mystery of sorts that happens in. You flip through it. What era would you place this in?
I'd place it in the 1940s or 50s. It's kind of like it's like diesel punk-ish, kind of like steampunky. Because
Yeah.
there's ray guns and jetpacks, and even if you just take a look at the cover, as you can tell from the cover, the costumes clearly indicate World War II era goggles, but 1950 style. Like the fins and the cool ray guns,
Sort of
and the
very
hairstyles are very like
Flash
40s
Gordon
or 50s.
serials.
Yeah, very Flash Gordon, exactly.
Yeah. That being said, space, all that sort of thing.
There are aliens in it too.
And there are aliens, yes. The Kargu, or the planet Kargu, led by this horrible, awful, evil guy named Karg, which at one point they do try to make a. Warren Ellis tries to make a simile with Karg, and as we can see,
With a
there's
certain,
everyone's favorite Nazi
certain
right there. Picking
German
his,
political party.
picking his nose. And I really like the art on that page. I thought it was really nicely done. The artwork, what do you think of the artwork?
I really like it actually. Like I like just the way it's. I like basically everything about it. How the ray guns, how they used very heavy photoshopping on the ray guns and the lights, and then they just went with regular cell coloring for everything else. There was, speaking of art, a lot of decapitations. Like, oh my god, I was flipping through this thing because
And the splitting in half.
the splitting in
of people.
half and the guts like everywhere, and
Gianluca did a good job
he did a very good job.
in producing the
The
guts
art
and that
is
sort of thing.
is stylized, but still kind of realistic looking, but not weird like how he's trying too hard. I think
I thought he did a good
Yeah, he
job
did.
at providing a visual for the story and providing a texture for the narrative style. The story is basically this lady here. Bum, bum, bum.
I like her costume by the way.
She
It's really cool.
she's the daughter of a spacefaring gent named Rock, who has been killed, and he was killed in his sleep. And so she shows up to collect his things and to solve the murder. The body was recycled to get rid of evidence, presumably. And she walks around basically blowing the lid off of all sorts of different secrets that are going on inside this island. The island that they're on is called Ignition City, and it is basically the last remaining spaceport on Earth, because France has just shut down any kind of space travel. England's going the same way. So there are a bunch of secrets going on. It is not, I don't want to make it sound X-Files-ish, though, because it's not. It's just sort of...
like a kind of like a murder mystery, except
it's a dirty noir mystery.
oh, cool. Except with like ray guns and rockets and stuff.
It's a mix between Flash Gordon and spaghetti westerns and Humphrey Bogart.
So basically everything in the 50s.
Yeah.
everything that was hot in the 50s, they took
like
that.
40s and 50s, and they
Yeah.
just sort of mashed it up, and ta-da! It's very slow, though. I will warn you guys, it's a slow book. Well done, though, and it really does start to move around chapter 5. What do I give this? I don't know. I would say probably a B+.
All right, that's not too
It's
bad.
a good book.
Mhm.
I've been giving out far too many A+s recently. I've been keeping track, and turns out there's a lot of A+.
Well, you just read the comics you like. I think this is a little bit of a side note, but like with reviewing stuff, especially for this show, we don't have people sending us stuff, so we buy our own
there's
stuff.
that.
So it's like I don't want to read that comic. I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna go bother seeing that chick flick. It's
Now we did make an exception for the
Oh,
Beatles experience.
oh God.
That was
Oh, God.
extraordinary.
all right.
All right, so
Before we go down that route again.
that is about it. Any last words about Ignition City?
I'm thinking about picking that up, but actually the art is pretty compelling, actually.
The art is good. It's Warren Ellis, the same guy that I reviewed last week, and the artist again, Gianluca Pagliarani.
Oh,
Pagliarani.
you tried.
That's this book gets a B+, a good buy, $19.99 US, and that is it this week from the gutters.
Hey folks, welcome to Tech Insight. And guess what? We're talking about the Windows Phone 7 series again.
I tried to stop him. There's nothing I could do
There's
about
really
it.
no.
Sam
we're
put the
sorry.
story in this week, actually. So you can thank Sam.
I'll shut you up when it's appropriate.
That's good.
Shut up.
So Windows Phone 7 series, we brought you an extremely lengthy go over of it a couple weeks ago. We're dropping. They basically announced their first phone in partner. So LG is going to make one. It's called the Panther.
Is that the final name for it, or is that just
That's
the?
the name they're throwing around right now.
Okay, so like.
It sounds reasonable as a phone name. Who knows what they're going to do, especially
I
since
want it
it's
to be
leaks.
called Lemur.
Liger.
And that's why you don't work for LG. Yeah.
I don't really want to work for LG.
No one does.
Yep. But LG
so-
went from chocolate. They're you know.
Chocolate was a bad phone. Don't
Was
buy
a
it.
bad
It breaks
phone,
a lot. So the Windows Phone 7 series they're releasing, it's called the Panther. Maybe. Who knows?
Panther.
They have released a beta to people, so like Engadget and Gizmodo and those really cool guys got their hands on this. So it's a QWERTY slider phone, slides out this way. You saw a picture of it earlier. Touchscreen, obviously you have to have that in Windows Phone 7. It's got a bunch of dedicated buttons aside from the mandatory search Windows buttons at the bottom, so you can have volume. There's a dedicated phone button, which is pretty
There's a
cool.
volume rocker.
And I think there's
Power.
one more. The phone button was what I really wanted to point
Yeah.
out. That's pretty unique for a camera or
Which is nice.
camera phone. It's got a 5 megapixel camera, which is pretty cool.
Does it have flash and autofocus? Do we know?
Not a lot released on the camera. It has a flash.
Okay.
Autofocus, I would assume.
Not all of them are running that yet, but
I mean, it depends on the camera, who made the camera, right? So who really knows? And not much other than that. I mean, it's got a headphones jack, which is good because HTC decided not to roll those for a while.
What? That's crazy.
You didn't hear that controversy? They used a USB mini port and you needed
Oh
an
yeah,
adapter.
that's right. Yeah, okay.
Very sad.
bad move, HTC.
On the G1.
Oh okay.
That's why everyone heard about it. It's the first Android phone. Didn't have a headset.
That's still a popular phone though. That's the thing.
It's really not. It's very
Really?
slow.
Okay.
No one. Yeah, they're awful. So that's that. LG. Looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's still in beta right now, so there's still some bugs, I'm sure. There's a link to the Engadget article if you want to see a video.
Yeah, in the article, well, the video is not very helpful. It's just them talking about how buggy it is, and this is
I
just
mean,
the first thing.
What do you
it's not very
expect?
buggy.
They just released it.
Yeah, they're
This is
just-
brand new hardware.
Yeah, they're
right?
just talking about the.
Speaking of hardware,
I'm glad I wasn't playing PlayStation 3 like a couple days ago.
you would have been okay because you have a PlayStation 3 Slim, sir.
Oh yeah, that's right. It
Uh,
was only
so-
the fat ones that were.
There's a debacle. PS3 had some badness this week. Basically, what's going down? So the PSN went down. This PlayStation Network. It went down for like more or less a day, so you couldn't play online. More than that, if you had a fat PS3 and you tried to do that, you couldn't access any of your trophies, which is like achievements. Basically, it was because the chip, the ARM chip they have in the old PS3s, thought this was a leap year. So when March 1st came around, it was like,
Oh, what's happening? Oh my god.
Because
oh my
the
God,
internet's
oh
trying to tell me that it's this state, but I think it's this state, which causes a lot of problems at the hardware level. New PS3s they are running a slightly different chipset,
my God. Okay.
so they don't have that problem.
A smarter chipset, apparently.
Well,
Apparently.
different. The ARM chipset's a good chipset. It's just, it has problems.
Yeah, I also heard that some people couldn't get onto their games just to play offline too.
It depends on the game. Some
Oh, okay.
games were crashing offline because of their dependence on certain things like trophies and the menus.
I'd also heard
Oh,
that some
okay.
of them, when the PlayStations were turned on, could not be turned off.
Oh, really? No,
outside
I've
of
not heard that.
unplugging from the wall, you
Oh,
could
wow.
not turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear any of that.
So as soon as I heard that, I unplugged my fat PS3 so none of my brothers could use it, and told my mom, "Don't touch the PS3," and she freaked out, which was kind of funny. But it's a software issue. It's
Shows
fixed.
how reliant you are on it for Blu-ray. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your
that's,
mom's not really a gamer.
No, we own 2 PS3 games.
me too, actually. Yeah.
So that's all fixed, which is good, but just shows, everyone's got their problems. Microsoft's problem still trumps this.
Yeah.
But good on Sony for fixing it so quickly and being so open about being, hey, don't use your PS3,
I think,
please, don't do it.
During like the 24 hours that this was a problem, there was like an update every couple hours saying, "Oh, we're working on this now. Hey, we're working on this now."
It was pretty good, and it was out on the pretty much everywhere on the
Yeah,
internet
it was
pretty
out on the
quickly,
blogs pretty quick.
which is
so.
good on Sony, even though you had a really stupid problem to begin with. Next up, moving on in gaming, hopefully, this is not. It's all but official, I guess, I would say.
Yeah, I used to dual boot my Mac so I could run Windows XP because I liked me some Steam games, and ultimately, I couldn't play them on my Mac, sadly, in its native operating system. That may, however, be changing.
There's been some pretty good leaks. There's been a lot of tempting photos, I should say. He's a PC. Well, no, those are characters from Team Fortress 2 and Portal. Which you can't play on a Mac right now unless you're running Windows. So, and then there's a picture of Gordon Freeman dressed in Mac-ish colors, which is very different because he's usually wearing brown and orange.
And green.
Yeah. Yeah, Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Half-Life 1 kind of guy.
Oh, the hours we stayed up playing that game.
Too many. So, I think this would be really cool. Like, I'm not a Mac guy.
Well, I'd be excited, especially because I recently picked up Left 4 Dead and stuff, and so theoretically, if they're porting
What
the
they're
Half-Life
saying-
stuff over, there's
You
a
should
chance.
be wary because there's a ton of games you can buy on Steam.
Yeah.
A lot of games will not work on Mac. They're porting the Steam client to Mac, which means you can do your Steam chat because there's a whole bunch of social things worked in there. They're not very good, but they're there. And
Yeah.
there's clans and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. That whole aspect should be ported, theoretically. And they're talking Half-Life 2, Left 4 Dead, Team Fortress 2, and Portal, which are Valve's big titles.
That's all I care about, too, because
Yeah,
it's the
so
only
I
ones
guess
I
it's,
own.
I guess it's just like the really, really big games
those
for
are,
now.
but Steam has taken a direction of more of a game
Casual.
hub.
Yeah.
So you can literally go on there and buy games that Valve has nothing to do with.
Or you can install games and have them run through Steam as
yeah.
well.
Oh, okay.
Which, if your friends have the same game and are also running through Steam, you can get that social aspect. Not in-game, but you're like, oh, this guy's playing this game.
Yeah.
Oh, join up, and it'll bring you into that game or whatever. Cool. So pretty exciting to see on Mac. I want to see, most importantly, Blizzard's answer to this.
Yeah.
Because WoW on Mac would be huge.
It already is on Mac. Blizzard is one of those.
Yeah.
You're right, they always have been.
But Blizzard's one of those companies that
StarCraft ran on Mac.
they
Point
friggin' do
invalid.
both. Yeah.
StarCraft, the original, ran on Mac.
Yeah. So
Whoa.
Blizzard's been doing
OS
both
9.
forever.
Well, yes.
But there's all of those other MMOs that are just as, well, not just as
Well,
big, but
Yeah.
None of
I'm
those
not-
run.
No one's just as big.
No one.
Yet.
No one has 11.5 million.
the
Yet.
Lego MMO's not out yet.
That's true.
That's
It'll
a
change
different
everything.
type of MMO though.
Yeah, but I think it'll steal a lot of audience.
Oh hells yeah.
I really hate WoW people. I hate it.
Oh.
It's just awful. I'm so sorry. So that's the greatest from Mac gaming news. It's pretty exciting, and you never know.
Yeah.
Those are big titles, so it could push a trend.
Yeah, definitely.
Doubt it, but it could.
Well, I mean, the Mac systems are definitely up to spec now, where they can handle these games full force.
Well,
so.
the type of people that would be on Mac that wanted to play these probably already found workarounds.
See,
It's now just the
the-
people who really couldn't be bothered. To be like,
the only thing that I would put up against that, I love that this is going to Mac. Mac does not have DirectX 11 support at all. And all the newest, biggest, greatest games are running DirectX 11 because they can do crazy stuff with it. And you need Windows 7. You can't even run Windows Vista and get DirectX 11, let alone anything else. So if you really are building your games off of that kind of engine, don't look for it on Mac anytime soon. It's just not. Microsoft makes DirectX. So if you're looking for a game that's heavily DirectX based, I would look away.
But you know what you can be looking for soon?
The E keyboard, my friend.
That's right, the E keyboard.
The long-awaited keyboard computer combined. Little touchscreen on the side. It's all built into one unit. I've been excited about this unit for a very long time.
A very long time.
Since they released it at CES, 2 years ago?
Two or three.
They've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
They have.
I want to use it as a home entertainment PC.
As do I.
Yeah, me too.
It has, I'll just run down the specs really quick for you. It is running the Atom processor, but we've seen that can actually, if you tweak it right, it can do like 720p video.
Yeah.
If you tweak it right. That's what they're saying anyway. I mean, there'll be other models and stuff. You can get standards as a gig of DDR2, which isn't a lot, but guarantee you can whip that bitch open. And yeah, that's what I'd be doing. It's running an SSD drive, which is nice, be good and quick. BGN Wi-Fi, which, I mean, why would you use wired if that's completely pointless? Bluetooth 2.0, pretty cool. I don't know why you'd need it. And most importantly, wireless HDMI. So basically, this is the only reason I'd ever use it as a home theater PC. You put a little tiny box, HDMI from that box into your stereo, or your TV or whatever setup you have. Sit with the keyboard. It's not supposed to be very heavy. There you go, 900 grams, not even a kilo.
Wow.
So that's pretty light. It's about 1.5 pounds. And touchscreen to navigate. It's running Windows XP, which
So this is like
It makes sense for the power, though.
yeah, XP runs well in the app. I mean, I've run a lot of OSs on my netbook with a similar Atom processor, and XP runs.
So is this e-board basically just like a netbook crammed into a full-size keyboard?
Pretty much.
Okay, cool.
With a nice touchscreen
Yeah,
on the
with the
side.
handy
The
little
touchscreen's
touchscreen.
Now,
got
that's what I'm excited for. Is the iPod Touch-like touchscreen on the side of the keyboard?
It seems to have its own unique interface, which is pretty cool.
Very iPod Touch.
It's sort of like a customizable hotkey sort of setup
Yeah,
where you can have it launch applications and things like that.
And then I'm
cool.
assuming you
Have
can
some
get
control over it.
like remote controls if you're watching a
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
or-
So I think you'll get things like your active control for
Yeah.
skipping and fast forwarding and volume control and things like that.
and I'm
standard.
assuming you can use it as a mouse pad.
Probably.
I could be
Probably like
wrong,
a-
but I would hope you can do a kind
Yeah.
of trackpad-y like thing on it.
Yeah, because it'd be really great to be able to take the mouse completely out of the situation.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
realistically, even if you're doing browsing on your TV, wouldn't it be great to not have a mouse?
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
one less thing to
'Cause,
clutter
I mean,
your
if you're-
table with
yeah.
or whatever.
If you're at home at your desk and you're going to do like some graphic design, or you're going to be moving a lot of files around, or you're doing something, you want a mouse. But I mean, if you're just doing some light browsing on a TV, because it's not the best browsing environment for me personally, some people might, or watching movies, you don't need a friggin' $100 Microsoft fancy ass mouse.
No, absolutely not.
No.
You need to be able to get that pointer around easily and quickly, so you can get on with your TV watching. So
So do we know when we can expect this?
they're looking at an April launch. Now that's a pushback date.
Okay.
It was supposed to come out early this year, and then they were thinking like February,
Okay.
March
Wow.
time frame. Now it's looking April. Now this has been pushed back
It was supposed to be released
like last year.
the year it was announced, Christmas of, so
I'm
CES in
I'm
January.
hoping
so.
that Asus is doing the smart thing and just making this exactly what I want it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a terribly complicated product,
No.
but it brings a lot of value to the home theater market for sure. You don't have to have this big machine. It's not going to be loud.
It would also be really good as like a kitchen computer type thing. It's just 'cause-
Yes and no. The thing is,
just
you
'cause it's-
need a monitor.
Well,
I don't
yeah.
think this is going to be the thing you're going to run off the touchscreen.
Well, no, it's just something for you just want the monitor mounted somewhere else, and then something that you can
Put away.
put away
I don't think-
or
I don't think-
something small, you know.
I wouldn't say kitchen's the best. Who
Well,
has
no,
a
but-
TV in their kitchen?
or like a computer.
an LCD display in their kitchen?
Well, no, it's like the kitchen computer
I'd
is.
like to.
Oh, I would.
I would
but
love
we're a
to.
special crowd.
So do we have any U.S. or Canadian pricing for it yet?
They released pricing a while ago. I think it's looking like $5.99,
Yeah, $400 or
$4 or
$500.
$5.99.
Which isn't bad, especially with wireless HDMI.
I would buy it without even blinking. I mean, under $600 is a good price point for that. Anything more than that, you're kind of pushing it, considering it's literally a netbook and
Yeah.
you don't even get a display. Small touchscreens are not expensive pieces of equipment. It's not a
Especially with the revolution in phones we're
yeah,
seeing.
it's not an OLED screen. So I wouldn't anything more than 600. I think would be a push. But under that, I think that's a good market for people who want to get a quick home theater solution. It's not complicated and assumingly easy to use. I don't see how they could complicate it up. I mean, it's an XP computer,
So hopefully it comes
which
out soon.
everyone knows how to use. So hopefully they don't push it back again, because they've done it 1,000 times, and I fully intend to get one. So if and when that happens in Canada, because half the e-products aren't available in Canada, we'll play with it.
So you know what the best way to get fired from your company is?
Being carried out, kicking and screaming.
Absolutely. If you're going down, take everybody with you.
So this broke recently. I think it just broke at the beginning of this week. Two of the top members of Infinity Ward, so they did Modern Warfare, were let go because Activision, their parent company, accused them of breaches of contract and insubordination. So the reason this broke so huge on the news, or on the gaming news, is first of all because the news basically broke on the two guys' on their Twitter and Facebook feeds. So Jason West is one of the guys that got fired. His Facebook status for time read, Jason West is drinking, also no longer employed. And then the other guy, I think Josh someone, he updated his Twitter with something similar, and then a couple of hours later his LinkedIn was changed. And also, the coolest part, okay, it's not cool for them, I'm really sorry they lost their jobs, but the coolest part is, apparently, there were security people, like big security people, at the office the day they were fired. So.
To escort them out of the building.
Well, it's probably, that's the speculation, because on a day where two really important people are fired and security people show up, there's something going on.
See, now I don't know the full ins and outs. I mean, I don't think
No,
that's really been
no one
released
really.
at all. But Activision went and bought a bunch of studios.
Yeah,
And they're like a big umbrella company now.
Well, it's basically, right now, it's like Activision and EA. That's like Marvel, DC.
Yeah, except but a lot of people don't know that.
Exactly.
Because they release under all these other titles.
And a lot of the times when Activision buys these companies, apparently, they say that, oh yeah, nothing's going to change. It's the standard buy up a company talk. Nothing's going to change. Don't worry about it. Your game's not going to change. The staff isn't going to change. But
then something like this happens.
But Activision, I can't remember the name of the studio, but another company under Activision, they had a round of huge layoffs. Like they laid off like 30% of their company, which for a small company is pretty huge.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's something like this where, like, apparently, this is all very like rumor and speculation now.
Yeah, there's been no official statement.
No, the two guys, since they're involved with Modern Warfare 2, apparently there's some dispute about where they wanted the franchise to go, and then probably like Activision's like, no, it says in your contract you're doing this many games, et cetera, and they're like, well, it doesn't work for the story, and then that kind of has me really worried, because Blizzard is owned by Activision, and even though they said they're not going to change anything about the company, about their games, just the developments in StarCraft 2, a lot of people have been blaming Activision for,
StarCraft 2 is not looking like what I wanted it to
Exactly, like when it was first announced before Blizzard, Vivendi,
I don't really know if we can
bought
blame
by it.
Activision for that.
Well, no, you can't really blame them for it, but a lot of the direction
I'm going to hold off judgment on that
until it's actually played.
because I think StarCraft 2 is this big impossible thing.
Yes.
Because StarCraft 1 people still buy StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
It's been out for
well, StarCraft 2
15
is in
years.
beta
Yeah.
right now.
And obviously Activision's making the right choices, because if we look at Modern Warfare 2, that's the highest selling game of all time, and it's a brilliant game. So it's not like they're going, well, you're good, and you're all gone. So,
Yeah, I think there's just a little bit shady here, because, breaches of contract and insubordination is kind of a little...
Well, breaches of contract is fair.
It is fair, but...
Because
just-
I in that industry, sometimes they sign certain positions
Yeah,
down to pretty exact contracts, which, depending on your position, I mean, there's a lot of artistic.
Oh, hell yeah.
especially if
ability
they're
in
working on a
that.
game as big
Yeah.
as Modern Warfare 2.
or
So-
whatever the
I mean, the
sequel is gonna
NDAs
be.
are probably pretty lengthy
Yeah,
in that
but I
one.
mean,
Yeah,
coming
totally.
from the artistic point of view, I mean, there's the graphic designers. Even if you're making textures, you're going to do it the way you want to see it. Well, if Activision doesn't like it that way, in your contract, it says that you make it the way they want it.
Yeah, it's like, Jim, I don't like how much purple you put in this floor tile. Change that, but it looks better like that.
Yeah, less purple. And then
Less
you do it, or you get canned.
Yeah.
That's just how the industry is. That's how the money flows. And in the smaller companies, I think it's different. Because you're probably a closer-knit group, and you're closer with upper management. because there probably is no upper management,
Yeah,
right?
it's probably the guy sitting next to you.
Yeah, who's also helping you
Who's
with the
coding-
texture or whatever.
Just coding
So
the characters or something.
it's a different environment that I think these smaller studios are getting thrown into. But c'est la vie.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird how the news broke. That's all. That's the bigger news. It's how it broke.
I promise you that when we fire Sam, we will get 2 big bulky guys to throw around.
Yay.
Or maybe we'll just have Dave hold her above his head and just huck. Yeah.
Okay, folks, that's it for today from Tech Insight. All right, folks, welcome to Behind the Lens with Quinn. We're bringing back the tip of the week.
So this week, I want to talk to you a little about frame rates and how it applies to your DSLR video. We talked about the Canon T2i last week, and obviously it shoots HD video. As I mentioned in last week's show, it's got a couple of different options for frame rates on the camera. You've got the sort of typical 3 frame rates that you'll find on not only digital SLRs, but regular video cameras too. The common frame rates that you're going to see in a North American camera are going to be 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second, and 60 frames per second. Now, to the average consumer, you might not understand what exactly those frames per second mean and when you want to use them. So to sort of make a comparison, when you go to the movie theater and watch a movie, you're watching a movie that has likely been shot in 24 frames per second. Now, the reason that is 24 frames per second is slightly less than what the human eye sort of interprets. So it creates the illusion that the movement is flowing and smooth and sort of cinematic is really the word I want to use. So if you're going to be shooting, your indie film, or you're doing some artsy stuff, that kind of stuff, you definitely want to be shooting in 24 frames per second. You're going to get a little bit more of an artistic look to the video. Now, like I was saying, 30 frames per second is sort of the midway point. Now, 30 frames per second is more or less what the human eye perceives. 30 frames per second, if you're watching a newscast, for instance, is what you're going to see. So when you watch the news, it looks very different than when you watch a movie. The news, you can tell it's real life, it's happening out on your streets, versus when you go to a theater and watch a movie. And the reason that is because it's that couple extra frames per second, which put it more into a real-looking video.
Like you're actually standing out on the street with that newscaster kind of type thing. Actually, everything you see on television is actually broadcast at 29.97 frames.
Yeah. So, 29.97 is the American standard.
In America, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you're over in Europe, it's 27.5, I want to say.
Yeah, 4 something.
27 frames per second.
PAL standard, PAL. And
Yes.
in North America, it's NTSC.
Yeah, so again, if you see NTSC or PAL as settings on your camera, remember that if you are in North America, you want to have it as NTSC. And if you're from the UK or anywhere in Europe, you want it to be PAL.
Because if you want to view that on your TV later and you record a video in PAL, may or may not, probably won't work on
It
an
likely
NTSC
will
set.
not show you the video. The other thing, too, is if you decide you want to buy, or you were traveling to somewhere in Europe and bought a camera, you'd want to make sure that you can change that setting, because otherwise you can't use it when it comes back. So 30 frames per second is what you'd want to shoot if you're shooting family events, things like that, stuff where you want it to really be an accurate interpretation of what you're seeing. Now, 60 frames per second is sort of a quasi mode, because 60 frames per second isn't visually all that different from 30 frames per second. It's obviously double the frame rate, but what 30 frames per second is because it's doubling the frame rate, anytime you're dealing with things that are fast action, so if you're recording hockey or a baseball or automobiles or anything like that, that extra frame in between every frame is going to make that motion smoother. So it won't look all that different as far as realism is concerned when you're comparing it to the 30 frames per second, but when you're comparing sports on both of those modes to each other, there's a noticeable difference in the smoothness of even just hands moving up and down and things like that. So if you're out recording the kids' soccer game, then 60 frames per second would be the mode you want to shoot in.
It's the kind of thing that you won't notice until you go and do that comparison.
Yeah, absolutely.
At which point you'll see it for the rest of your life.
You will. So hopefully understanding those frame rates will help you achieve the video look that you're going for a little bit more, because ultimately if you shoot everything in 30 frames per second and really want your stuff to look more like movies, you're doing it wrong. You want to be in 24 frames per second. And if it's the reverse, then you want to be in 30 frames per second. So just keep that in mind next time you're flipping through the controls on either your DSLR or your video camera, and make the choice that's most appropriate for what you're shooting.
So you got a camera for us this week.
I do,
A
and
Nikon
it's
camera.
not a Canon. So this week I've got the Nikon S8000. This is a new camera from Nikon's lineup. Now, Nikon currently did not have a sort of longer zoom compact camera. We've seen things like the Panasonic TZ series, the Canon SX200. These are all and in the range of 10 to 12 times optical zoom, and Nikon didn't have something to compete. They had a 7 times optical zoom, and they had a much bigger 15 times optical zoom camera that was physically a lot more chunky. So this is their first foray into a mid-range camera for zoom. This guy's 10 times optical zoom.
It's pretty compact for a 10 times optical zoom camera.
It is. Now, it's not the thinnest. Fuji has them beat with their F80. It's a bit of a smaller camera altogether. But what Fuji doesn't give you is high-definition video, and that's what you do get with this guy. So Nikon, as of last year, just started bringing HD video into their cameras. So this guy has 720p video mode on it, so you can shoot the high definition. It's a 10 times optical zoom. Now, what's really nice about this is, again, it's got, you can see if you're looking at the front here that there's no visible flash with it. This one's using a pop-up flash.
Much seems to be getting popular.
Yeah, much like the S90, so you can see if I want to go take a picture with the flash is going to pop up on it. Now, the other thing it does too is it's got 2 microphones for recording your audio when you're doing video, so it's stereo audio on this guy. You've got a nice big 3-inch screen on the back. Nikon's really pushing for the larger screens, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Now, what I really like about this camera is the style. I mean, if you look at it on the camera there, you can see that it sort of sweeps up and down. There isn't necessarily a recess where the lens is going to be. I mean, obviously, right here it's going to get flat and the lens is going to come out from there. But what's nice about it is it sort of has this very nice curved body to it, which is very different. Not a lot of cameras have that. It's available in a couple of colors. You've got this sort of bronzish brown color. They've got a really nice red color. It's deep red, sort of like an Optimus Prime kind of red, which is nice. And then there's a black color as well. So a couple different colors for it. On top of the 10 times optical zoom, it's also a 28mm wide-angle lens. So when you are zoomed out, you're going to get more in your picture for being able to shoot your still photos, which is nice to have as well.
Now, is that a unique feature for a camera in this kind of?
No, most of the larger zoom cameras are going to have 28mm, but it's nice to know that they're keeping up with that. I mean, if you looked at the camera market a year and a half ago, it was really only Panasonic that was pushing wide angle, but everyone's sort of gotten wise to the fact that wide angle is nice, especially if you're doing group shots or landscapes or things like that. So a lot more cameras have that these days, which is really nice. The other thing is it does 1 centimeter macro, so you can literally have it this close to the ground and still be able to focus on stuff, which is great if you like taking pictures of flowers or bugs or circuit boards or any of that kind of stuff. So overall, I think it's a really nice camera. Image quality wise, it's less expensive than the Panasonic and a little bit less expensive than the Canon. Image quality wise, I think it's not quite on par with those two, but for the cheaper price point, it's definitely a good alternative. This guy is currently retailing Canadian for $339. The Panasonic is around the $400 mark, and the Canon's around $370, $380, depending on if whether or not it's on sale. So it puts it a little bit cheaper than that. The other nice thing you get with Nikon in the Canada is it's a 2-year warranty, so a little bit better coverage than the Panasonic and Canon as well. So that might push you more towards this guy. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5, only because I think the image quality could stand for a little bit of improvement, but I think it's a really good first attempt for Nikon to get into the larger zoom camera.
So if you're looking for something, you're a little budget conscious, but you want that expanded zoom, this might be a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, the feature set's great. 14 megapixels, 10 times zoom, wide-angle lens, HD video. It really has everything for you at a slightly cheaper price point with a better warranty, so ultimately definitely worth looking and checking out. Cool. So that pretty much wraps us up this week from Behind the Lens.
And coming up next, the Lull of the Week. Okay, folks, it's time for the Lull of the Week, picked this week off the vastness of YouTube.
On the internet. So we've all been there, right? We've all sat at presentations or lectures or master classes or whatever, and the guy standing in front of the big screen's got PowerPoint running, and oh my God, it's ever dull. So there's a comedian. He really hates PowerPoint.
He really does.
He really hates it.
Like, we have some hate, but
Lots of hate.
It's just not even close.
No.
We'll let you judge.
There's some things I hate about PowerPoint, and I figure it's kind of my duty to point them out. So here we go. Here's common PowerPoint mistakes. Number 1, people tend to put every word they are going to say on their PowerPoint slides. Although this eliminates the need to memorize your talk, ultimately this makes your slides crowded, wordy, and boring. You will lose your audience's attention before you even reach the bottom of your first slide. Please don't do that anymore, please. Number 2, most common. Many people do not run spell cheek. Big mistake. Nothing makes you look stupider than spelling errors. If it's got a red line under it, recheck the spelling. And then finally, I hate this. Avoid excessive bullet pointing. Only bullet key points. Too many bullet points, and your key messages will not stand out. In fact, the term bullet point comes from people firing guns at annoying presenters. Hence the bullet point. Bad color schemes, not good. Clashing background and font colors can lead to distraction, confusion, headache, nausea, vomiting, and loss of bladder control. I can't stay on that one too long. Here's something I've noticed. The number of PowerPoint slides you have in your talk, the less useful your talk actually is. Unfortunately, my presentation is right there. I've also noticed this. People love to pack data into their presentations. They shove more and more data thinking it's better, but it's not. The more data you have, the harder it is to read your slide, and the effectiveness plummets. Now you can improve the effectiveness by adding some shading and some 3D effects and then some second order and third order effects, and then, I know, let's add some labels. That'll help a lot. And that's pretty much every marketing slide I've ever seen right there. Yeah. Then some like VP of marketing standing there going, it's real clear in Q4. What the hell are you talking about? Now, I'm into in animation. People become animators in PowerPoint. You can have things flying all over the place, and that can be good. If you're a visual learner, that will improve the effectiveness of your performance. But if you're easily distracted, more animations, and people have no idea what you're talking about. They're just, wow, that is cool, wow. And there's regions here, by the way. There's the simple but effective region. There's the active but confusing, the effective but boring, the active but ineffective, the dull but static region, the busy but useless, the ADD only region, the useful but amusing, the stupid but confusing, the dull triangle, the hyper triangle, the sleepy square, the dizzying pentagon, and everything else I just call pointless motion. That slide right there took me an hour and a half to make, right there. PowerPoint can just suck the life out of you. It's amazing. I've also come up with this. It's a kind of a little science I've invented called font analysis. Basically, the font you choose says something about who you are as a person. There's a huge list of fonts, and you choose one, and that says something about you. So be careful the font you choose. For example, if you choose Courier New, it happens to be my favorite, you're probably organized and structured. If you choose Matisse, it means you're artistic. And if you choose Times New Roman, it means you're lazy, apathetic, and unimaginative, and you always use the default. Oh.
So that reminded me of in high school I did a data management course, and at the end of the semester we're all expected to have presentations with our research, right? And there were like 30-something people in my class. We all had to use PowerPoint, and I can relate to most of those, especially the everyone loves to cram more data into their
That's how you look smart.
slides, especially in high school. I'm like,
You want to know the sad part? It still happens in real work.
it really does. I've
Here's my research presentation. Oh, there's 6 graphs on one slide. Folks, it's not good.
no.
Nobody likes it. Well, that just about wraps up the show this week
Yep.
from the Almost Friday Show. If you want to contact us, which you should do, we have an email address, contact at Almost Friday Show. Almost Friday? I'm going to get that wrong every time. It's contact at almostfridayshow.com. It's on the screen. We also have a Twitter
We do.
where you can find out when the episode actually goes up and where you can go check it out, almost_Friday. And for blog posting, show notes, most importantly, see where we get this information from, watch the videos we talk about, things like that. If you want to link your buddy to the Law of the Week.
You should.
Yeah.
Well, link him to us first.
Almostfridayshow.com. So that does it for this week. Quinn's not here, so we don't have anything witty to sign off with.
Keep your dogs on the leash.
Woo!